Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 12 of my Primus Unabridged series. I am doing more Thaumcraft today. I've been getting some stuff ready between, and I got more automation planned. So, let's get started. So, when last we left off, where's my console? There we go. I had set up the Infusion provider here. I don't think we had run it with that, but since then I have got that set up. We had the Ender IO lines spreading out all the materials. This button is new, and I've got a button up here too. Did I do this button? I might have done that button. No, maybe I didn't. I don't think I did. And ignore the stuff back there. We'll get to that later. First, we're going to do automation of this. Over here, you may have noticed at the end of that episode, I hadn't pointed it out, but I had made a second and a third. I just stuck a hopper on there. Nothing different there. I just made more of it to go a little faster. So, we've got our input chest here. Oh, no, we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. So, let's go underneath here. And I've run some more smart cable over here in front and behind. And once again, I've used the Ender IO ME cable and a facade to let it go through the floor without messing up the nice connected patterns. So now we can take these and pop them, and they hook up right through the floor. Now, in the last episode, I accidentally made the Ascension provider when I meant to do the Infusion provider, but that's good. We can use it here. I'm also going to want an ME interface there. And in between, we've got the alchemical constructs. You put two of those on top of a cauldron, on top of a cauldron. Come on. There we go. And you whack it with a wand. And that gives you... I was facing the wrong way when I did that. I want it to face this way. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, maybe I don't have enough in the wand. It is down a little bit, but that should be plenty. Still, I've got spare wands in here. Let's grab a spare wand. See if that's the problem. Don't think it is, but... Oh, that was it. Okay. Alright, now it's facing the right way at least. So let's put the interface back. How much did it use? Oh, it did use quite a bit of stuff. Alright, that was the issue. So the Essentia will come in through the Essentia provider. The output will go out through the ME interface. And I want to make it so that it's controllable via ME system. So I'm going to put ME interface flat variety there. I could make this one no, I think I need that one to be a solid one, so it'll export it into as a container. But this is going to be a flat one. And I've already got two patterns. This one is one coal makes one Alumentum. And I think we can see it over here in the... I added a pattern thing. Yeah, right here. One coal, one Alumentum, processing pattern. It's a little furnace icon. Click arrow, you get the encoded pattern. So I can toss that in there. Nope, not in there. In here. And I also made one that uses one of each shard to get 6 balance shards. I did it that way because I didn't want it to always use one of them. Like always use the earth shards and then I run out of earth shards. This way it'll make 6 at once, but it'll take them evenly from all of the aspects, or not aspects, what are those, families. And it makes 6 at a time. That's okay, because you can save the excess for later. And because that means we need a lot more recipes, I made a lot of these mnemonic matrices. Just plug them all around like that. I don't know if they can go on the crucible too. Probably not. They probably have to come only up here. But that gets you more recipes. So let's teach it some recipes. I need to teach it one of each of these shards. And I'm going to have to go out and get more shards. I'm getting low. Especially the order. And let's also get a piece of coal, because I want to teach it that as well. Alright. So let's do the coal first. Put the coal in. It knows that's an Alumentum. Click it. It's now learned it, and it's 1 of 11. I think each of these adds 2. So now I'm going to give it each of these shards, and you just go arrow until you find it, and then activate it. Okay. There, activate it. Now the order is not necessarily the order you put them in. So far it is. I'm always going up. Ah, there, and I can't go up. But this is not for this one. This is still for the air shard, because you notice there's no air here. This is the air shard recipe. Got to go down. Now it's the water shard. This is the order shard. Here we go. It's not highlighted blue already like that, and there's no no entropy down here. Yeah. So now we can activate that one. So when you start a new recipe, you just got to go up and down and find where it is and activate it. And the last one, there it is. So now it knows how to do all of those. So if I came over here, and I found you can't do orders. I mean, even though it has the sorted and there are no order recipes viewable from the arcane terminal. So I had to put a regular crafting terminal down here. So if we look at just the craftables, I can see I did hook it up to the main AE network. See here. Ran this over with the tunnel. And then purple is this local network. So I can see everything. But here I can say craft Alumentum. Let's make 10. Start. Monitor it. I can hear it hissing in the background. Oh, speaking of which, headphones. Otherwise you might be getting an echo. There we go. I always forget those. See that it's going down. If you come over here and take a look inside, it's doing its thing. And to see its actual recipe, you got to go find it. There it is. But it's done. And it's outputting into here, so it should now all be in here. So switch back. Alumentum. I got 13 because I already had a couple in there. So that is now fully hooked up to the AE system. I could put a few more recipes in there, but because I used 6 different slots for the shards, I only have 4 more. So after that, I'll have to make a whole another one of these. Duplicate it. I could probably fit 2 more here. Maybe. I'll have to see how I want to arrange that. Alright, well then the next thing I wanted to work on was the infusion. What I really want to do is make it completely automated, but it is not possible. You have to walk up to it and whack it with a wand to start it. But I've got almost everything else done, except for one thing. And I'm working on that. I'll find a way to do that. So, let's do a recipe. I've got them programmed. So let's go in here. Silverwood. I can craft silverwood rods. Now to craft a silverwood rod is infusion with all these shards around a silverwood log. And it needs 9 of all the basic plus 9 Precantatio. So let's take a look. Make sure I've got everything. Aqua I've got the least of, but I've got plenty. Good. I'm set. Make sure my ordo's good, yeah. So I can now order 1 silverwood rod. And I'm actually going to make it 3. Because I want to show you how multiples will work. Now here's the problem I've got right now. Notice it sent out the first order, but the silverwood's here, and one of the shards is there. I gotta swap them. The problem there is it's the AE system is dumping all the ingredients into this chest at once. Ignore the brick for the moment. I'll come back to the brick. The brick is important. It dumps all the ingredients at once in there, and the order isn't guaranteed. Even though I put the silverwood first in the pattern, it's not going to be guaranteed to be the first to hit the chest. And then maybe even the Ender IO may not pull from the first slot. If it's scanning, it might be halfway through a scan. I don't know how it all works under the hood, but no matter what, it's not guaranteed that the silverwood gets there first. There are plenty of ways I could set this up, maybe with Steve's Factory Manager, and teach it all of the patterns so that it knows where to put the main ingredient. But what I really want to do is find a way so that I don't have to teach any more patterns, that somehow ordering the item sends the right piece to the center. Now I'm going to work on that. And I'm going to try and find a way to do it. Don't have it yet this episode. Expect it next episode. But anyway, I still have to come down here. There is a mod. Somebody in the comments of the last video. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. And again, a lot of handles are hard to follow, but I will do a shout out to you in a later clip from this episode. But he suggested a mod called... Nope, I've forgotten the name of the mod too. Ha 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 ha. This was yesterday. I was looking at that. But there's a mod that we might add to the pack. I've suggested it to BBoldt, the pack author, and he might add it. He was already looking at it. But it adds a little chandelier thing that goes above the runic matrix, and that will activate it with a wand from a redstone signal. So we might do that. Let's turn this, start this thing off. Now you can see the Infusion provider is sending all the essentia that it needs. See each of the colors going up. And then it'll start eating... No, okay, that's the last one. Then it'll start eating the ingredients. And then we come to the next stage that I haven't completely automated, but I think I can. And that is, I need some way to detect when the runic altar is done with the recipe. Once I know that, a redstone signal will take away the item and send out the next pattern, which, as you can see, still suffers from this problem. So for now, whoa, that was rather shaky. For now, because of the few things I gotta do manually, I've got this duplicate of that purple button up there. They both do the same thing. When you click it, it sends it out and puts out the next set. So I stand down here, fix the recipe, start it up with the wand. When it's done, push the button, fix the recipe, start it up with the wand. It works. It lets you make a whole bunch of the same thing, and most of the brunt work is taken and done for you. Just need to do a little bit of tweaking and poking and clicking. Flush the system, get the next one out. Where'd the log go? There it is. And whack it. So how does this work under the hood? Let's go underneath. Most of it is the same. I do have this redstone now. Or not redstone, but redstone conduit. And this is the center pillar. It's set to in and out still, and the export is only with the redstone signal. So when I push that button, it'll export out whatever's on the center pillar. And note that the export, as you can see the purple arrow there, I changed the channel to purple. And the only other Primple thing is right here. This is an insert on Primple. So when I click the button, whatever was in the final product, which was in the center pillar, comes to this chest here, which is normally empty. Now we come to that brick. You remember there was that brick up here. The brick is added to all recipes that get sent to the Infusion altar. It's not needed, and I'm hoping that the brick isn't actually used by any recipe that I need to do. If so, I can change it to something else. But for now, it's brick. The brick just sits in that chest. Why? Because of the ME interface here. I've got only 2 recipes, silverwood rods and thaumium caps, because I wanted to make a whole bunch of those fancier rods, wands, the same way I had the basic wooden wands. But I clicked this button up here, blocking mode. With the vertical line here and the 2 separate arrows, this means, as it says, do not push crafting items if inventory contains items. So when I order 4 silverwood rods, it doesn't dump all the ingredients for all 4 into this chest at once. It dumps the first set, which includes a brick. I moved, let's see, get out my wrench. I moved the import, this thing, the extract, that's the word I wanted. It used to be on the bottom, but I needed to put the interface there, so I moved it up here because I can hide it better. So it's over here, but now it has a filter that's blacklisting bricks. So it'll extract everything but bricks. So that's where the brick stays in the chest. But now we've clicked the button, the item has come down here and come into this chest. We need to get the brick out at this point. Now, I could make the pushing of the button take the brick out of the chest. The problem is you get some edge conditions. Because when I push that button, everything lights up, this red line powers up, and it starts pulling anything from the center column out. If at the same time it takes the brick out, then a whole new pattern will get sent down in here, and whatever lands in the center might also get pulled out because this signal hasn't gone dark yet. It's all too close of timing, and I wanted something a little bit more safe. So that's why we've got all this stuff over here. All this is just to make it safer, so that it works smoothly and perfectly every time. So you push the button, it pulls out that center item and drops it in here. This will give it time to stop pulling. Alright, here I've got a cobblestone structure pipe with 1 BC Bullcraft gate. Just a basic AND gate. Well, it doesn't matter, it's just a basic gate. Items in inventory emit a redstone signal. So as soon as the item drops in this chest, it emits a redstone signal. Now here I've got some Steve's Factory Manager. So over here is a redstone receiver. It can detect when this lights up. And I've got a little program in here. It triggers every second. It looks for one of that redstone receiver node, and it checks to see if there's any sort of signal on it. So as soon as there is an item in this chest, the Buildcraft gate emits a signal, and within a second, this has gone true. So down the true line, it inputs from, this is this chest, and it outputs to the interface over here, which sends it back into the AE system. So it pulls the final result out, sends it back into the AE system. And then it goes to a wireless block extender, which is this guy down here, which I have linked with my little linker tool to this chest with the brick in it. So as far as the Steve's Factory Manager is concerned, this is the same as the chest. Just lets me not it keeps the room pretty up there without having to stick extra inventory cables up through the floor or something. So that's the other chest, and it just pulls the brick out and dumps it also into the interface. So basically it pulls them both out, sends them back. At that point, everything is safe, and with the brick out of the chest, the next group of items for the recipe gets sent in. So it gives us a clean and well-working... Okay, it's done. Push the button. And that was the last one, so there's no more to come. But yeah, that's how I got that working. Again, it's still not perfect. I'm working on the ways to fix it. It's going to be a bit more complicated to get that recipe right. It either requires programming every single recipe into some other device so that it knows where everything goes, like a Steve's Factory Manager, or some rather complicated applied energistics stuff with multiple patterns and dependencies and so forth, which I'm not sure will work, but I'm going to give it a try. All right, so those are those two things. Next, node bullying. But not what you just saw. This would be a different sort of node bullying, not nerd bullying, node bullying. It's going to look more like this. Yeah, I had to stop and do a couple different configurations, and this is the one I ended up liking the best. Now the placement of the nodes, there are 5 spaces between them, so that means these can't connect to each other. They're far enough away that none of the ones in the corners of this cube can connect to each other. But they can all connect to the center one. So the center one is feeding off all 8 of these others. When they're set up that way, they can usually recover faster than they're drained. Because sitting out here in the open like this, they heal pretty quickly, if you want to call it healing. This one, when it goes to siphon something off, you can see it's been growing pretty well here. We'll pick one of the 8. I think I just saw a lightning bolt. It'll pick one of the 8, and so it sort of spreads around its nibbling. And that gives them enough time to recover. But, see, this one is kicked on into a defensive mode because it's sort of low. They do sometimes lose a maximum point instead of a current point. Is that this one? How's this one doing? Oh, that's right. I swapped that one out. That one's good. So, yeah. So the shields are still set up to come on to protect them and let them grow back. And I've got the shield set up to come on pretty quickly. I think as soon as it's down to 14. Let's take a look here. Yep, I set them to 14. So the shields come on, they heal back up, and 14 is probably a little too high. I'll probably do the next one for 13, but we're going to set another one of these up. So, what we need, we got a project chest. It's project chest time. We're definitely going to be using Steve's Factory Manager for this. So let's get out the manager and stick it in its slot right here. And go underneath. Well, actually, before we go underneath, let's put the redstone emitters here. Whoop. That was a carpenter's block. You giving that back to me? You're not giving that back to me, are you? Oh, I don't have my magnet on. Come here. All right. Put the carpenter's block back. I forgot that those were carpenter's blocks, so they eat stuff when you click on them. There we go. There and there. So these are the lower redstone emitters, and these are what are going to turn on and off the lower 4 node stabilizers. But they need to be connected to the manager. Oops, so we're going to get some of this cable here and run it around like so. Just in an H shape. Actually, do I have it that way over here? Yeah, I do. So it's an H shape underneath. Coming down the sides. 4, 3 out. This lower section, so we have an upper section and a lower section. The lower section is actually for the top. They're reversed down here. Why? Because this section can connect directly. The bottom section has to connect via wireless redstone, so it can be a little lower. All right. Now we want to put the other set of emitters down here at the bottom. All right. So these are the emitters. So right now, if I put the node stabilizers up here, let's get half of the node stabilizers, stick them on top of these redstone emitters, I can now control them with Steve's Factory Manager. If I come in here, no, I don't want a trigger. I want to go ahead and make a redstone emitter, just for demonstration purposes. You can see all 8 emitters are in here. The first 4 are the upper emitters for the lower stabilizers, and the second 4 are for the lower emitters, which are for the upper stabilizers, which aren't in place yet. So we can turn those on and off now from Steve's Factory Manager. Now we need to know when to turn them on and off. So we're going to get some redstone receivers. And, yep, put them right underneath. One there, 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 there. All the way around. Okay. So these can receive a redstone signal, which the Steve's Factory Manager can use to determine whether or not to turn these on or off. So how do we get a redstone signal? And what sort of redstone signal do we want to get? V-readers from Automagy. These, if I get the recipe to come up here, not that hard. It uses the red crystal from Automagy and a thermometer. And the red crystal is just redstone and some vitreous. And with those, you need some crystalline eye. Oh, no, excuse me. Don't need those yet, but we'll need them for the next step. Let's get the next step. These guys. All right. So the V-readers, I'm going to attach to the redstone receivers. So here, put these over here. I guess I can... No, I can't line them up. I need space above it. That's why I had that way. There, there, and there. So these things are going to emit a redstone signal based on the V reading of the nodes. All right? These can be used in a number of different ways. They can read the current contents of anything that can hold V. They can also read nodes, and there was something else they could read. They've got a interface that needs a wand to open up. So let me go to my wand collection here, grab one, whack it. Bunch of different settings. The instructions, the in-game instructions say nothing about these. I have no idea what those are for. I haven't looked it up. I'm sure it says it somewhere on the web. It must be a new feature. Obviously, it's something you can put there, and it looks like it might be like a filter or something of those sorts. I'm not sure. Maybe a label? No. Not sure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the mode to any low. Now, it's got total, which is the total of... when it comes to nodes, this is the way it works. Total is... it adds up all of the aspects of their maximums and their currents, gets those two totals and compares them, and then that difference is the percentage that it outputs via redstone. Any high, it takes the highest of the aspects, the one that's the most recovered, the closest to its maximum, and uses that percentage as the output. Any low, it takes the one that is the current lowest percentage and outputs that percentage. And aspect count, I think it just outputs how many aspects the node has. We want any low. Capacity auto, output all, no invert. So each one of these just gets set to any low. Like so. Alright, I can put the wand away. Don't need the wand. But how do they connect to the nodes? Now, there's no nodes here yet, but this is the way they're going to connect. We're going to put down this thing. This is a remote comparator. It is exactly what it says it is. It's another thing from Automagy. You basically can take this eye and whack it on something. I'm going to whack it on this chest here, just for demonstration purposes, and then toss it into the comparator. Actually, let's actually connect it to a node. Let's grab that back out again. Come down here. This is my node collection. I've been going out and getting nodes, and I'll come back here and explain how this works in a moment. But let's go ahead and whack it on that one. Come up here, pop it in there. Now if I look at the V-reader, it's showing me the aspects for that node. It's a special condition when you put this remote comparator on top of the V-reader and you link the eye to a node, you can see what the node has in it from right here. Sort of nice. Can use that for things. But more importantly, because I've set up that any low setting, let's grab a little bit of redstone here so we can see what's going on. I'll put a little floor like that with a piece of redstone. Power 15. So this is outputting power 15. And that's because that node down there is fully charged. Nothing's been bullying it. It's at its maximum values. If that node is being bullied and it starts going down, this would start dropping from 15. So what we want to do is we want to put one of these comparators on every one of the V-readers, like so. And then they're all set up to get their eyes when all the nodes are in place. Can't do much with it yet until the nodes are in place. So let me see, what else do I need here? I'll just grab those for a moment. Whoop. So I want to put all these little... Oh wait, the black ones were for... The purple ones were from down here. My mistake. Just put these down. There we go. With the redstone on top. You don't need to have this redstone here for it to work. It just makes it easier to monitor the system. And I could put these redstone right here on the inventory cable because it won't do anything. It's just a way to come in here with Wayla and read the power levels being output by the V-readers. Alright, so that is all the cable. Oh, there's one more thing down here. And that is the wireless transmitters. Because the top ones have the, break this, right there, the redstone emitter attached directly to the stabilizer. But for the upper ones, we can't do that. Well, I could, but it would require running ugly cable up there, and I want to keep things looking nice. So I'm using wireless redstone. And I'm placing them like this so that they're connected to these redstone emitters. And I'll give all 4 unique channel. And then I'm going to build the platform for the upper nodes. I'm going to use Catwalk's support columns. Also a little bit of decoration here. So let's quickly put... Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's an interesting effect when you put a catwalk on the side of a carpenter's block, but it's not the effect that I want. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on. Oh, that's right. This one's got catwalk there. So I need to grab my blowtorch and take away that. Now I can build up this tower. Is that the same height? Yep. And then from out of here... Now these, when you place them on a side, it's sort of like stairs. Depending on what side you place it. I placed on the side, so now it's sticking out to the side. But if I place it on the bottom like this, it sticks up. It still connects to any other catwalks, but you get this up and down part, which is what I want because that's where the node is going to sit. So again, down here I need to break the catwalk that's there and blowtorch away the 2 walls. And bring out the frame. And place it from below. Yeah, that looks good. And one more. Okay. Get the same height. And back here. Oops. Alright, grab the upper node stabilizers. Grab these. I might as well grab these because I'm going to need them. Actually, I need 3 more. I think 3 more for the center column. Go ahead and place those. That gets the advanced node stabilizer. These get the regular node stabilizers. Unfortunately, these catwalks are not forged multi-part. I would have liked to have put a cover directly on this because there's a gap here between the top of this and the bottom of that. This gap, same riser there. Nice to put a cover there so that it, or maybe a panel. But they're not compatible. If I put a panel here, it would stick up at the same block height as this thing. So over on the side here is where I'm going to put these with the wireless receivers on top of them. That's looking pretty good. I think, oh yeah, and then, oops. Let's get out my, not the wrench. I need the immersive engineering hammer. There it is. And this is just decoration here. Pop that up there, rotate it twice. 6 times. Twice. 6 times. Alright. Run these cables. I think they just look good. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do for the ceiling in this area, but now I know how high it needs to be. Glad I didn't already have built one, because I probably wouldn't have built it quite that high. Because it's getting very close to the grass. In fact, this back area may have to be slightly higher than the front half, which is all right. All right, that is all done. Now we just need to get the nodes in. You could bottle them, but I did this before I did blood magic. But I probably should have done blood magic first, though blood magic is sort of boring. Everybody's done it. There's nothing I really need in it except for this. And unfortunately, this takes a level 4. So that's just a lot of grind work and getting it up to 4. I will do it eventually. And when I do, I can make these. But for now, I asked one of the guys who had gotten there. I think it was Land. Yeah, it was Land. So he made these for me. What are these? If you know all this stuff, you probably guessed. The teleposer. And I want a button. This is a good way to move nodes. I notice I've got my other teleposer right here. Let's stop and explain this thing. I just put every node stabilizer extra I had, whether it was advanced or regular, it didn't really matter. So I've got one empty down here. So what I do is I go out into the wilderness, either into a dimension by RF tools or out into the regular world. I put down this directly underneath a node. Toss this teleposition focus, which I've already right-clicked on that teleposition focus. Stick a button on it. And when I click it, the node teleports up to that spot. I then pull out this wireless redstone and I click it. How's that? The wireless redstone is over here. It triggers the carriage engine. The carriage engine is the type that moves with the structure. And so it moves all these orange blocks and anything they're next to, which is all the nodes. The nodes get dragged. The stabilizers stay where they are. Notice now that nodes are all the way down here, and we've got an empty one that would have had the node that teleported in has just moved over. So to get all these, I would go around and I'd teleport it, click my little remote, pick up my teleporter, go to another node, teleport it, click my remote, and they just sort of slide over. It worked great. But for right now, I'm going to move them back. Oops. There we go. That way it's set up and ready to go for a new one. But I'm going to start grabbing some of these nodes and loading them up there. So I want a big one for the master. So what is my biggest node? Well, let me look through all of them, pick the one that's biggest, and then choose which ones are going to go around it, and I'll be right back. Alright, I've made my selections. The largest one is this one here at 97, but I'm not going to make it the main node. I'm going to use this one at 91 because it's bright. And from what I've read, a node that is bright, when it's converted to its final CV values, gets a 20% bonus. So that's pretty good. Definitely want that one as my center one. Next, I noticed I had 3 Spiritus, 1, 2, and 3. And from what I've read, when a multi-part aspect breaks, when you energize a node, a multi-part aspect gets broken down to all of its base aspects. And Spiritus breaks down into Precantatio, Aqua, and Terra. So if it was at 100 and I didn't have any of those 3 anywhere else in it, I would get those 3 from 100, so that'd be 10 once it's converted to CV. I get all 3 from that one. So that one's a good one to grow because it covers, I got 3 different sources for it, and that covers 3 different aspects. Then I just need air. So I've got this one here, which also has Perditio. And this one here, it's the E. Also need Ignis, so I've got this one. And this one. Those are the only two that I've got with Ignis. It comes with Ordo, so that one's got plenty of Ordo. Also has Volatus, which may not end up being useful for anything. So I think that will cover my bases. Someone should make a simulator that will give you the probabilities of what the outcome would be and what it would break down to once it was energized. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows? All right, so now it's time to move them. So let me grab this. And let's move my center node first. Actually, I don't want it getting zapped by the others. I'll move it last. So let's move some of these others. Let's get ready up here. Oops. So we've got two of these, one of these. I'm going to break that, put down a teleposer, and I'm going to whack it with this. I come down here, get ready with the button. Break that. Place down that, open it up, put this in, put the button on it, click the button. The node is now up here. And I can shield it back up again. So I'm going to do that for each of them. Oh, I need to put down the next one. Whack it with the focus. Grab the next node. Zoom. There it is. So let me do that to the rest of them, and I will be right back. Alright, everything's set up. Let's do the final step, because we're running out of time. Alright. What we want to do, because this takes up a little bit of room, let's make two groups. One for the lower section and one for the upper section. So let's go into the lower section. Now we're in commands. We're in the first group. We can name it. Can go right up here and say lower half. Alright, let's go into lower half. What we're going to do for each one of the nodes, we're going to set up a trigger, a redstone condition, a redstone emitter, another redstone condition, and another redstone emitter. For the first condition, we're going to select a redstone receiver. And in this case, we're going to do the first one. We're going to do these in order. And we're going to set the strength to 15 and 15. So if it's a full strength 15, that means that the node is fully recovered and it's ready to be bullied. So what we want to do is we want to turn off the stabilizer. And to do that, you need to go to the emitter that's under the stabilizer, and you want to set the output to 15. So you give it a redstone signal, it disables it. Now, this has a position of negative 910, 710, Y level 30. So 10, 10, 30. And up here, this guy, 10, 10, 28. So it's right just above it, two blocks away from it. Those are the matching pair. All right, so when it's fully ready, go ahead and turn off the stabilizer and let it be bullied. But now once it starts getting too low, so let's go to the same redstone receiver, and we'll set the strength to, say, 12. 1 to 12. Don't put 0 here. It won't work with 0. 1 to 12. If it's anywhere in that range, so it has been bullied down below 13, if that is the case, we want to turn the emitter, select the same emitter. We want to set the signal it's putting out to 0. That will turn off the redstone, which stops disabling the stabilizer, and it turns the stabilizer back on. And that'll give the node time to heal. So, if the node is fully recovered, turn off the stabilizer. If it's not fully recovered, check to see if it's too damaged, if it's too tired. If it's too tired, then let the stabilizer turn back on again. And just check this every second. You could actually turn that down. It doesn't have to be every second. It could be every 10 seconds. A little bit better on the server. This does not have to be quick, because at 12, it can go way down farther before it starts having a problem. So we're going to do the same thing multiple times, like so. Ta-da! Alright, there's 4. If I go back and then go into the upper half, I've got those set up too. So they're all set up, but now nothing's happening. So what we need to do is link the nodes to all the machinery down below, and that's where these eyes come in. I've got 8 eyes. So let's whack an eye. And this is the upper one here. Place it there. That is now reading its value, and it says power 15. So that node is fully ready to go. Whoops. So let's get the one at the top. Bang. Pop it in here. That one's good. This node. Pop it in. Oh, there was one in there. Let me make sure I'm using the right one. Bang. Pop it. Pop it. Top one. Down here. Just do this for all of them. Fast forward. Oh yes, forgot something. These channels. So let me see what I was using over here. I was using 3303, so 33, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So this is 3305. Set. We'll give it the name node 5. Do that for the others. And now we've got to go down and wire these up the same way. So this one becomes, well, I can just select it here. It's node 5, which is named wrong. Yep, all right. This one is 6, 7, and 8. All their shields are off. They are now being bullied by our main node. So that's set. And over here, you can see 2 of them are healing. The rest are all being actively bullied. And this one's doing pretty good. It's up to 92 in Terra. I wish it was doing better in Ignis. I might have to go looking for a better Ignis source for this one and sort of rebalance its nose. I just used what I had when I made it. And a lot of these are pale. If I get out my whoop. Where'd it go? Where's my thermometer? There it is. Thermometer. Pale. Normal. Normal. Okay. Not as many were pale as I thought. 2 of them are pale. 3 of them. 4 of them. Alright, they're all down at the bottom. That was because I used the bottle, the node in a jar technique to move them. And that has a chance of making them fading or pale. And some of these were fading, so I put them into advanced node stabilizers for a little bit while they're sitting here until they healed back to pale. But because they're pale, they're going to start getting smaller. They're not going to heal as fast. So I will probably find a better source of Ignis, or more sources of Ignis, and tune this one up a little bit better. But this one should do pretty good. So there is the automation for node bullying, and the first crack at the automation for this. Might get that Gatomancy mod that lets you automate the triggering of the infusion. If so, I'm definitely going to really put my attention into getting a really good automation system. Really clean, smooth, and AE2 driven. I want to be able to order something and it just happens if it's an infusion. So we'll see how that goes. Until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.